Hey everyone, this is Vicky from the Agonist and you're watching Grasser Production.
Hi everybody, this is Grasser Production and today I'm sitting here with Vicky of the band The Agonist. So,
hello.
Hi Vicky, how are you doing?
Great, and you?
I'm fine, thank you. You're on tour recently. How has it been so far?
Awesome, fantastic. It's heading towards the end of the tour right now. We only have this show and another 5 more. So it's a little bittersweet. Like it's that moment where you're like, oh, I'm so tired, I can't wait to go home. But then at the same time, you know when you get home, you're gonna be like, can I just go back on tour? So that just shows it's been going really, really well so far.
Okay. Yeah. Great, so let's talk about your record Orphans. You dropped it in September.
Yeah.
You write that it's a true monster feeding on melodic death metal. I read it on your website.
I didn't write that, but someone did.
Okay. And also metalcore and almost rocking elements.
Okay.
Where did you get your inspiration for this monster?
This monster. I think for the music at least, because I don't write the music, I get the tracks and then I put my vocals over them. But I think for the music, everyone was just a little bit angry. And they wanted that to show through the music, and also at the same time we kind of made a conscious decision to write more naturally and what feels right. So I think a lot of just our basic inspirations throughout the years came through the songwriting. Like we weren't trying to do something different or something weird or new, and I think it went back to something that was like familiar with the Agonist before I joined them, but then with my vocals and my lyrics, it shaped it into something else entirely. And as for the lyrics, I get inspired by each track individually. So there's some songs that are like really, really angry, but then there's a couple other songs that are a little more experimental, progressive-ish, and the lyrics are a bit more fairy tale-like storytelling. They're not that much in your face, classic metal. So yeah, it's a wide range of influences, but I would say, I know I'm rambling right now, but I would say it feels very natural to us, and it felt natural when we were writing it.
Okay, and how long did you work on Orphans?
I can't say for the music again how long it took, but for myself, after I got all the tracks, it was like I was doing one song after the other, and it may be 2 months I had all the songs done. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. And why did you choose Orphans as the title? You have one song with the same title? So
yes, so it was basically inspired from that, like looking at the track listing, and it just popped out to me as a nice album title. I thought it would reflect well. And I like this sort of, the fact that it's a word that has a lot of negativity that comes along with it. No one's going to hear the word orphans and smile, but I like that it's something that's predisposed as negative, but then you can take it and you can put a positive light on it, and like, everyone's heard exceptional stories of people that had a rough beginning, grew up with either bad parents or no parents or anything, and then they succeeded and made something incredible of their lives. So I like that sort of meaning to it, and I think it represents our music as well, in that there's dark songs and subjects that are a bit maybe not pleasant to talk about, but then there's also a moment of positivity in there.
Okay.
Yeah.
And do you have a favorite song on the record, and why?
So Orphans is there, and Blood is My Guide as well. I think those are my top 2 if I had to choose. And Vertigo too, my top 3. Okay. I think the reason is mostly for all 3 of them, it's based off of lyrics. They represent me more so. I think they're better than the others. Okay. Even though I'm not supposed to say that. And just like the vocal patterns too, and I like the progressiveness in the music. I always tend to like the songs that are not radio friendly on albums, like not just our music, but any band, you know. I'll always find the odd song and be like, that's my favorite.
Okay. Yeah. So on your website you write that if a song doesn't pass the live test, it doesn't make it on the record.
Right.
How do you test it? And yeah.
I mean, yeah, that is true and isn't true, because there are a few songs maybe that we've had on albums that we've never played live, and not because we don't want to, but we're just not sure 100%, because we're a very heavy, high energy live band. So if we throw in like a ballad, for instance, in our set, we're not too sure how people would take that in that live setting. So for those songs, that doesn't count. But for everything else, I think it's, we just jam the songs as a band, you know, we rehearse together, and you can feel it in the groove and in the vibe, and you obviously won't know until you play it to a crowd, but after, you know, 6 albums, you kind of have a feeling of like, this would go well live, you know.
Okay. And you also released some videos, for example, in Vertigo. How do you choose the songs for a video?
We talk about it amongst ourselves. We ask friends, close friends of the band, our producer, just get opinions on which songs we should release. And then it's just sometimes, you know, you just follow your gut instinct. Like, I knew when I did the demo for In Vertigo, and at that point I had only done maybe 4 or 5 songs, so half the album. But I knew the second I finished In Vertigo, I had this gut feeling that it has to be our first single and it has to be the first track on the album. And then I wrote the rest of the songs, and I still felt that way, so I told everyone, you know what, I think this is how it has to be, and everyone agreed. So sometimes you just have to listen to yourself.
Okay.
Yeah.
And do you like video shots?
Yeah, I do. I mean, it's funny to say, because I usually get put through hell in all of our video shoots. Like in Vertigo, I'm digging through mud all day long. In Gift of Silence, our more recent one, there's like blood all over me, and I still have to perform. So we always find some crazy idea that basically puts me through hell, but there's this satisfaction that comes afterwards when you see the final product, and you're like, oh, all the effort and energy that I put in created this. So it's awesome, you know, like the more you work for something, the better the reward, I think, afterwards.
Okay, sounds great. Okay, let's come back to the tour. How do you prepare for a tour?
Nothing specific. I mean, we rehearse with the band as much as we can, obviously. We go through the set as if it were a live show, like don't take too many breaks and stuff like that, try to headbang a little bit. And just, I personally just try to take care of myself, you know, try to not get sick right before a tour, work out a little bit, just basic stuff. There's no really big secret to it, you know.
Okay, and how is it to play the new songs live?
It's awesome. It's great because, you know, the old songs have the charm of, you know them so well by now that you don't even have to think, and it's like, feels very natural. But then when you play a song over and over and over again, you start getting tired of it, not because it's not a good song, but just because you play it every single time. So then when you put the new songs in a set list and you're playing them for the first time ever, it like spices everything up almost. It feels like you're a new band almost. And then you go back to the old songs that are a little bit comfortable, and you're like, okay, this is nice. And then you go back to a new one.
Something new.
Yeah.
Great.
Great.
Okay, and how do you choose the set list and all the live songs?
So we basically try to decide from singles, first and foremost, you know, like the songs that people know the most. And then depending on the tour, we'll choose a different sort of set. So like thinking that we're on tour with Jinjer, what would be appropriate, you know? Or if we're in March, let's say, we're touring with Flesh God Apocalypse in the States, we're probably gonna have a completely different set there. Yeah, because our music has a lot of different genres in there and different styles that don't appeal to everyone. So we like to do a mix of like play the stuff for our fans, and then play some other songs that maybe can grab new fans.
Yeah. Okay.
I think that's what every band sort of does. Yeah.
Okay, so what do you like the most when you're on tour, and what annoys you?
Oh, lovely. What I like the most, obviously, is the show. You know, like that is why you do what you do, and
meeting all the people. And
it's that energy that you get on stage too, and seeing everyone's faces. It's like that's the moment that makes sense the most on tour. You know, and. The thing that annoys me, honestly, it's not a constant thing, but I could get annoyed, let's say if there's a bad day, like we go into a venue that's like small, there's no backstage, there's no showers, everything's disorganized. It doesn't happen often, but when it happens, you're like, oh man, you know. But then other days you wake up and the venue's great and the backstage nice, the food is great, everyone takes care of you. So it's just that up and down, and that you're not on your own schedule, you know. You're just going through the steps of the venue, the tour manager, whatever people tell you, and you just do your job. So I think that would annoy me the most.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. And how is it to be on tour with 4 guys?
Oh, it's fine. I'm used to it by now. Yeah, it's. I think because I get this question a lot. You know, oh, you're a girl with the 4 guys, and I think there's different types of women and different types of people, of course. Yeah. And I was never high maintenance myself, so it's like there's been days where we didn't have a backstage. I had to do my makeup in the van, and I don't know, the van smells really bad because we've been touring in it, and socks and underwear and whatever, but you know, it's all right, because like I said, you play the show, and the show makes up for everything else.
Okay, great.
But also the guys are very considerate and nice with me. They're not...
Okay, that's cool.
Yes.
Okay. So what do you prefer, being on tour or creating new music?
Creating new music.
Okay, and why?
Because that is the sole purpose for me of doing this. Like, I have met many musicians through this, and I find there's 2 types of people that go into music. There's the creators, the songwriters, and there's the performers. And I've met people that just do it because they love playing music and they love being on stage, and that was something I didn't like in the beginning, honestly. I felt like the stage fright and the shakiness and looking at people and feeling uncomfortable because I'm actually like very introverted. But I did grow to love it, you know, with time. Whereas the songwriting, that was the thing that pulled me in from the beginning. The ability to create something from zero and tell your story and write a song that someone else somewhere in the world will hear and be inspired, and that's where it is for me.
Okay. So, and what is the most important thing you want to tell the people with your songs and your music?
There's different messages that I try to portray through music. I think probably the best, like, comment or message I've ever gotten from fans is that our music has helped them through difficult times in life. So, like, I think that's very important, because music is truly the best thing on the planet. Like, it can motivate you, it can bring you up, it can pull you down, it can make you have fun, make you cry. Like, it's there to give you all those emotions, and I don't think I have anything specific that I want to say to my fans through that, but I think it's just, in general, the ability to be able to say anything through music with other people. Because a lot of times I'll write lyrics and I'll think they mean one thing, and then I'll meet a fan that told me that they read the lyrics of that song and they interpreted them in a different way, and they really liked that meaning, so I'm not going to take it away from them. You know, it's like, if this is what you get from my music and it inspires you and it makes you feel good, then I'm so happy about that.
Okay, sounds great.
Thank you.
So you're a part of the band since 2014. Did you ever expect to be a singer of or a metal band?
No, honestly, it was like a hidden desire in the back of my head. And when I started doing music, I was just doing like covers and maybe more like rock-oriented things, not like death metal or metalcore or anything like that. So then I started putting out covers on YouTube, and in the back of my head I thought, oh, maybe someone will notice me, but I didn't actually expect it to happen. And then it happened, and I was like, oh,
okay.
Cool. This is nice. Yeah.
And could you imagine anything different now? Anything, another job?
No. I mean, I can think of things that I do enjoy and I would be good at probably, but I don't want to do it. You know, I prefer to have other things as hobbies. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, do you have any tips for newcomer bands, especially for the female-fronted? So, because you are also a female-fronted band.
Yeah, so I get asked this quite a lot as well, like advice and tips. And my number one thing that I say is just work as hard as you possibly can. And when you think you've worked enough, work even harder. Because I've met a lot of bands that, and individuals that are very talented, extremely talented, great musicians, and they're going nowhere, they've gone nowhere, like they gave up because, I don't know, they felt life was unfair or whatever. And in the back of my head, I was like, no, you're just not trying hard enough. Because it's a scene that's like so many bands and so many artists out there that are really, really good. And it's hard, you know, like you should never feel entitled that I'm the best, therefore the world should give me what I you know, deserve. So that's my number one thing, like work as hard as you possibly can. And don't compare yourself to other bands. Don't look at other bands and be like, why are they successful and I'm not? Or I want to be like them or whatever. It's like, no, be the best version of yourself that you can possibly be and try as hard as you can. And I guess that applies to all bands. I don't know, like female-fronted specifically. If you're a woman in a band, I just don't think of yourself as a woman in a band. Think of yourself that you're a person with other people and you're doing your job. Like it doesn't matter.
Just do it.
Just do it, yes, exactly.
Okay, so in the last weeks we could read a bit about the thing between you and Alissa of Arch Enemy. She was the singer of your band before you joined. Can you tell us a bit about it? Is there was there another communication or? No. Everything that has been in the media and like it keeps happening. Like the Blabbermouth will still pick up like something like Danny said in an interview a year ago, and they'll post it now as if it's recent. You know, that's just like clickbait. You know? It's getting huge and
because they, you know, the websites, they're doing their job. They want to make money, so. There hasn't been anything since then. There's been no communication of any sort or of them trying to communicate with us actually. All I know is, like I said what I said. I stayed true to what I said. I didn't lie. I have nothing to apologize for or anything like that. And from that point on, there's nothing really negative or for myself, you know. Like if fences were to be mended and we could talk and play a show together or whatever, that would be nice. But if it doesn't happen, that's also okay. Like
this question is also on my list. What about a show?
I mean, obviously that's not in our control, and I really don't think it would ever happen. But like I said, for myself, I think I'm kind of the outsider too, because you know, they have bad blood between them. Alissa with the guys, they were in a band together for 10 years, blah, blah, blah. I came in after the fact, so I really have nothing against anyone, you know. So I'm okay with everything. Whatever's gonna happen will happen,
just doing your thing. Like,
exactly.
That's the best you can do.
And you know, all these things, I think they're petty sometimes, like, in 5 years that I've been in the band, I said one thing in one interview and it got blown out of proportion.
Okay.
But all the other times in interviews I would be asked, I would not say anything because I didn't want to pull the focus into that where it should be more about the music. And obviously, you know, like I'm a human being. After 5 years, it was the album release. I had like scheduled interviews every single day, one after another. I was just like, you know what? Let me open my mouth and just speak up a little bit. And it's only natural. And now that it's done, I'm perfectly okay. And it's in the past and everything's great.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what comes next? What can we expect?
So for this year, we have a couple shows. We're playing with Epica in Montreal. We have 70,000 tons of metal, the cruise. We're doing that for the first time. And then we have the tour in North America, Flesh God Apocalypse, March, April. And in the summer, we're coming back to Europe.
Okay.
So there's a few festivals that have been announced, but we're looking, obviously, to book some more and maybe some shows in between. And that's all we have, like up until the summer.
It's a lot.
Yeah. We just want to like tour and promote this album as much as possible. So.
Okay, so have fun.
Thank you.
Thank you for your time and all the best.
Thank you so much.
See you soon, guys. Bye.